Internet, George here again. In a little diversion from Half-Life 2, I have decided to go back and poke around TibiaME a little bit more. It is around a little bit for about an hour before, and I'm a little bit curious about some of the things in this world. So we'll poke around a little bit more here and see what sort of mischief we can get up to. Those frogs, yeah. I sympathize with your feelings about those frogs, dude. So here we are back to hacking and slashing our way through a sewer, which I know is not exactly like the most exciting gameplay in the world. But I had some bad, half-formed thoughts I wanted to explore, and the mindless amphibian slaughter is a good background to do that in. You know, this is the second of these top-down MMOs that I've played. The first one I did is one of the games from Asobimo, and that is like a over-the-shoulder 3D perspective, which is very different. And that is much more of a social game with all kinds of emotes you can use and a lot of different things you can do by way of communicating. Whereas this one and the one I tried out the other day seem to both be top-down, kind of combat-oriented, which is perfectly fine, because to be honest, I am not much of a socializer. I am much more of the explorer type, as I think I mentioned in a previous video. Ooh, another feathered stick. How exciting. Oh, I can leave the little paved parts of the sewers here and go further afield. Or I would be able to. For a player like me, something like TibiaME here holds more promise. It offers more to explore think part of it is that the world seems larger. It may not be. It may just be more fleshed out and more populated. Of course, it's had 15 years of infrequent development, I suppose. But Blazing Crystal. No idea how to use that. Is it loot? Is it equipment? We may find out. But it seems like there's more to do, potentially, here. And a little more logic to it. You know, every game starts you off somehow, introduces you to the world, and as getting double teamed. As tutorials go, the whole you are on a ship, a burning ship full of hellhounds. I need to get out of here. Oh, you heal when you level up. Nifty. The whole you are on a burning ship full of hellhounds. Here, take this dinky sword and try to escape. I find that more interesting and more compelling than you are on a small island that makes no sense in your underwear. Just because. And obviously some people may not care about that. And I suppose that if you really are big into role-playing, something like that gives you a very blank slate to start with no real preconceived, limits or anything. But if you want to explore the world and want to try to fit in, I think having some kind of starting reference is important. Not just for your own enjoyment, but for that of others. Because one of the things I've noticed in the Asobimo MMO that I've played for a few hours is the role players, people who are just kind of there to role play their characters and generate gratuitous drama. They fortunately kind of congregate in just a few areas, which is nice, but they tend to be very persistent in coming up with kind of strange and illogical things. You may find someone role-playing a werewolf, even though it's not clear that the world has lycanthropy. And at one point I ran into someone who was role-playing a little sister from BioShock. This in a somewhat generic fantasy RPG setting. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. looks like I heal just from the passing of time and not actually from movement, which is kind of nice. You know, I have some skill points or attribute points or something. I should probably use those. I'm just gonna go very uncreatively, kind of evenly upping all my attributes here, because I have no idea really what's best, but experience has taught me that going for a balanced approach is rarely a bad thing. I'm still sort of unimpressed by the skills available, so I will just skip those. And then onward through the sewers here. But back to my point, I suspect that in a game like this, you wind up with a lot fewer Bioshock Little Sisters and Vampires Lestat, or Kirito, the greatest swordsman the known world has ever seen, kind of thing. Although I suppose someone role-playing Kirito wouldn't be completely out of place here. What was that all about? Did I just critically hit or something? Oh no, my backpack is full. Still don't seem to be able to... Oh! Whew! Alright, I can equip armor now, apparently. Which means I can go pick up a second dubious melee mallet. Really? Another feathered stick. Well, apparently I can wield the blazing crystal. Not what I wanted to do. Someday I will figure out how to equip. equip weapons here. Did this once. Okay. Let us try to get out of this place. That ancient 8-bit map up there is not really helping me too much. But I think I have to go up here past the underground haystack. And beat up another frog. And then we're going to try to sell some stuff and get some money and see how the economy works in this game. Come on, up you go. So apparently he's going to give me stuff. Whether I want him to or not. I just want information. I'm guessing that's an armorer there. That's probably magic. That's like a jeweler, but I don't know what that's all about. Here. This is going to be the weapon guy, I think. So let's go see if I can... Okay. A short sword will cost me 120, whatever this game's currency is. So let's see what my stuff will get me. Oh, not a lot. Okay, well. I'll just get rid of those. The melee mallet is apparently not particularly useful. And that's right, the blazing crystal is better combat-wise than the feathered stick. So I will part with those. And now I have 163 gold, which is enough to buy a short sword. But let's explore our options a little bit. Let's do that in part by seeing what we get for killing frogs. Talk to a guy who gotta talk to a guy who will tell you to talk to a guy who knows a guy who might know the person you're looking for. I mean, it's novel, don't get me wrong, but oh, I got a shield. still cannot for the life of me figure out how to equip things. Is there some kind of... Nope. Guess you just sort of have to struggle along and hope for the best. It's a light shield. I assume that's where a shield goes. Looks like a shield. Oh! Really? That's all I had to do? My incompetence knows no bounds. You there, wizardy-looking fellow. Yes! Kassarin? Educate me about skills. Okay, choose wisely. Yeah. Have you met me? I suppose, in the interests of science, we should see what skills do. And apparently I'm fighting a snake in the background. And yeah, let's... Got a first strike skill, and doesn't seem super. Let's just stick with the attack skills. Yeah. So do the signs do anything? I forget. The Barra Midlands. Okay. Is there anything in the other barrel? No, it's just a barrel. And what sort of quest are you going to have me do in order to find this person? Oh, nice. You don't really care about your friend. You just want his money. Yeah. I can go poke in a dungeon for you. You lazy sod. And I kind of like that you actually have to explore the map to find what's on it, rather than just mysteriously knowing how the world is. Before we go exploring another dungeon, though, I really do need a better weapon, I think. Hey, look. Low-level loot. you know, if I was playing this like for real for myself, I would probably go grind for a while and like a couple of hours and try to get a bunch of money, but that does not make for fascinating gameplay. So let's sell the glowy hammer. And let's buy a short sword. In the hopes that that will... Yeah, that whole wrench thing is not super intuitive for equipping things. But, and this is the important part, it works. So, I got a little bit of money. Are there any other things I can buy? What will 50 coins get me? Again, that's not an accessory shop. Let's see. You there, cryptic wizard looking dude. I don't know any spells yet. Fair enough. You identical looking wizard dude. Apparently I can buy a chili stick, but sounds like the straw to a mangonado, really, but don't think that's going to help me a whole lot. You there, the only merchant who doesn't look completely bored. What do you have to offer? I can buy a shirt. Or pants. Pants could be good. Can buy pants and a hat even. So let's do that. Did my mouse just die? Yes, apparently. Alright. So I'm guessing these little icons are like defender and magic user, and the helmet is attacker. So otherwise it doesn't really matter, I guess. And I'm going with the options that give me the potential to use magic, I think. That's how that works. Because that could be only for wizards. Only for wizards. Oh, you really? I've been robbed. All right. Sell me some fighter stuff. please. White head cap. Okay. I am now clothed, at least, which is a good start. I'm clothed and I have a weapon that isn't completely embarrassing, so... Let's go try to find belonging to the guy who poisoned his partner. What, me, cynical? Not sure why the game keeps doing that, but... Okay. Hey, look. It's something that's not a frog. It's a spider. Fortunately, we are both about equally incompetent fighters, so I stand a chance. I wonder if a melee mallet would have been better against a spider. Man, if I'd realized combat was going to go on so long, I'd have, like, I don't know, prepared some jokes or something. Unfortunately, I'm not a very funny person. So, 4 experience points. Yay. I'll try to think of some amusing witticism or something. Oh, that's a dead end. Okay. For the next battle. And then I'll try to tell it really, really slowly, because chest must be here somewhere. Yeah, well, seems likely. I mean, a guy who kills his boss wouldn't lie to a random stranger, would he? Are you gonna follow me? Apparently you are gonna follow me. Alright. Stand and deliver. Okay, how about sit and die? Oh, so a joke. It's like one of 2 I know. 2 psychics are walking down the street, and they come across each other. And the first one looks at the other one and says, "You're doing all right. How am I?" Yeah, it's a dad joke. It's actually from, I learned that from David Bowie, believe it or not. If you poke around elsewhere on YouTube, there's video of David Bowie and Annie Lennox rehearsing the song Under Pressure for the Concert for Life, the Freddie Mercury tribute concert held at Wembley Stadium many, many years ago. And at one point during the thing, David Bowie just randomly turns to the camera and trots out a terrible dad joke. So yeah. And so for some reason that joke is still occupying space in my brainy parts, as King Julian would say. Is many a year later. I am running from the spider because I am a little bit hurt. Actually, I'm a lot hurt. And that darn spider is on the hunt. I mean, I do have a healing potion, but I only have the one. And while I am incompetent and the channel name is George Games Badly, I like to think that I won't have to use it just for a spider. But I've been wrong before. So I have 27 I don't know what's and 0, I think those are platinum coins. They're used for some kind of premium something or other. Apparently you don't get any just for being a new player or logging in. So I think the whole oh, here, have a bunch of rewards for logging in 2 days in a row is, I don't know, maybe it's a millennial thing. Nah, don't leave angry comments. I'm not blaming you millennials. I'm just blaming the game devs that cater to your generation. Subtle but important distinction. What's with the blue blippy thing? I should go investigate. I don't think that was there before. Maybe it's some kind of restores mana or something. No idea what those stars do. Can I turn them into money? Can I exchange them for goods or services? Do they, that's not at all creepy and ominous. I can't help but notice, too, that, in this dungeon, the game isn't telling me how many footsteps I am from my objective. So perhaps I am past the tutorial section. And that handholding was just for noobs. We shall see. Okay, that is apparently down to the next thing, which I assume I have to take. But first, let's see if there's anything else. Just some spiders. And some glowy eyes in a doorway. We shall investigate the glowy eyes in the doorway later. But first, Fallout Boy song, or going down. Was it Sugar We're Going Down? Down, down in a dungeon of brown, with my little stubby sword swinging. Be your number one with the mallet. Loaded, don't really have a god complex. Oh well, I tried. And I failed. Story of my life. This is interesting. Here's a big flame and some slabs or something or other. Have I found a demonic altar? At least I've got pants on. Okay, well. Apparently the universe hates me, internet. So I'm going to take that as a sign to be done here for the day. Yeah, that does sort of look a little bit alterish. But apparently the game is about to save, which the website says is something it does once a day. So I'm going to exit out of here before that happens, lest I succumb to some kind of crash or something. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, comment, etc., etc. You've been on YouTube before. You know the routine. I will come back to this at a later date, and we shall try to find the lost treasure here. Until then, as Red Green would say, stay safe and keep your stick on the ice.